When I came to the Laughing Valley, I selected a number of fallen tree trunks. I would not cut a living tree. My life among the nymphs had taught me that a live tree is a sacred being. But with the dead and fallen trees, it was different. They had fulfilled their destiny, and now it was fitting that their remains should minister to the needs of man. I picked up my axe and I swung it. I chopped many logs into equal lengths and proper shapes for building a house such as I had seen men inhabit. That night, while I was sleeping, the friendly Knooks arrived and worked with skills and swiftness. The logs I had trimmed were carried to a spot beside the brook and fitted one upon the other, and during the night it was a strong and roomy dwelling that they built. And then when I awoke, I was pleased. Oh, I must thank the Knooks for this. Why, I gazed at my new dwelling, and then I entered the doorway. It's a palace! I pondered my next duty. Therefore, I whistled to the forest. Whoo-hoo! Riles of the fields of flowers, come to me. And the Riles immediately appeared. Riles, I've never willfully destroyed one of your flowers you tend to so carefully, but I must plant the grain to use for food. And how am I to do this without killing the little creatures? A yellow Ryle made an answer. Fret not! Friend Claus, the great Ark has spoken to us. We will attend to your food supplies. Ha ha! And then the fairies brought me warm blankets and clothing. Ha ha ha! And I called out, thanks to you all, my friends. And so began my life in the Laughing Valley with the favor and the friendship of the immortals to minister to my every want. In time, I walked through the valley to the plain beyond. There were many towns and villages, and in them I found children. The youngsters soon came to know my merry, laughing face, and the parents appreciated someone giving attention to their children. It was the custom that children received little attention from their parents, so it became to them a marvel that I would devote so much time to making children happy. Yeah, I was refused admittance only at the beautiful palace and castle of the Lord and Baron. There were children at both places, but the servants shut the door in my face, and the fierce Baron threatened to hang me from an iron hook on the castle walls. I sighed and I went back to the poorer dwellings where I was greatly welcome. Seasons come and go, and winter drew near. And one day snowflakes filled the air of the Laughing Valley. At night, there was a rap on the door. Why, it was Jack Frost. Come in, Jack Frost. Come out, answered Jack, for you have a fire inside. So I came out. Now, I had known Jack Frost in the forest, and I liked the jolly rogue. He shouted icily, isn't this glorious weather? I shall nip the noses and ears and toes before daybreak. Now, Jack, if you love me, spare the children. And why? He asked. Well, they're tender and helpless. But I love to nip their noses, declared Jack. And in a flash, Jack flew away. Now, back inside, my kitty raised a paw and stroked her nose thoughtfully, and she said, meow. So long as the fire burned and I sat back in my easy chair by the hearth, the cat did not mind the weather. One evening, I picked up a stick of wood and I began to cut it with a sharp knife. And I whistled and I sang to the cat as I carved away portions of the stick. Blinky, my cat, sat up on her haunches and she watched me. I glanced at little Blinky and then at the stick I was whittling until the wood began to have a shape that was like the head of a cat with two ears sticking up. Then I carved out the eyes and the nose and rounded the lower part of the head so that it rested upon a neck. Puss hardly knew what to make of it now. I laughed at the result of my labors, and I placed the wooden cat, now completed, on the hearth opposite the real one. Blinky thereupon glared at the image and uttered, "Meow." The wooden cat paid no attention. Little Puss advanced to eye it closely and smell it intelligently. I was pleased with my handiwork, and without knowing exactly, I didn't realize at the time, but looking back, I had made my first toy.